The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hello everyone. Hello everyone. This is Christina and welcome to our Scientific Forex live webinar. I'm happy to see you all here. Before moving on, please tell me if you can hear me. You can type it onto the chat box on the webinar control panel. It's found at the right corner of your screen. In our webinar that we have today, we will talk about one setting that we have on euro dollar, and also I will go through the rules of the system, and of course we will talk about different currency, about different pairs. This session is being recorded and will be posted in the members area for you. So I think that if you want to review it, and you can just access it onto the members area. Also, please remember that our team will be very happy to help you if you need anything, and if you want to chat personally or need extra help, just let us know. Okay, so I wanted to talk about euro dollar because in this moment we have one pattern, one continuation pattern on daily chart. As you can see, we have one triangle that this triangle start to be formed on at the end of the February on 26, 27, and till now the pair just made some swings in between this triangle. Yesterday we can see very clear that the pair closed under the base of the triangle. So I think that for the next period we can expect that the pair will go into the downside. Probably the target will be the previous low that the pair made here, but also it can go into to reach new lows. So I think that you probably know that because this candle was closed under this line, that was a very strong support, 1.3 thousand. We can consider that already the pair start to go into the down direction. We have to consider also that this pattern was formed on daily chart, so it means that it will take few days to see one clear downtrend. Today the pair tried to reach again that X support line that now now it is resistance, but have no power to go even close to that 100 level on Fibonacci on the last wave that was at 1.2993. The problem in this pattern, so for this pattern, usual the target is the previous low. So we can expect something like this. Like a first target. Probably also we can expect 161 if we want to feel more comfortable. Probably at 161.8 Fibonacci level on the last wave will be a one swing. And the pair probably will target this value. And the next target will be this high of the triangle. So probably will be very close very close to touch 261.8 Fibonacci level. For this configuration, we have to establish stop loss somewhere in this area. And in this moment, just to adjust the position that we have to take with the equity, with the money management, and so on. The problem with this pattern is that on daily, we probably expect one signal for buy here. You can see very clear that RSI 14 and RSI 5 is under 30 level. This one is 30 level, this one 70. And it's possible to have more swings into this area. So to feel more comfortable when we are going into one trade like this is to go on smaller time frames like 4 hours and just to wait the signal for sell. Here, as you can see, we had one signal for buy. So it is possible in the next hours to have a new try of the pair to break that resistance line. So to be more comfortable to go into one trade offered by the pattern, it's better to wait at least the signal for sell that is coming on 4 hour time frame. Okay. Do you have any question regarding this pattern? Okay, if you don't have, I will go for the next pair to see what was the situation on the other one. On pound, we had that signal on daily that for sell, and still we are waiting for the pair to reach the inferior line of the channel, and after that to see the new evolution. the pair was touched the 50 level just for a short period and reversed to 23.6. Actually, this was the evolution of the pair in the last few days. And now it's just at the middle line of Bollinger Band. Probably tomorrow we will see again one try to touch 50 or 61.8 level. If we are going on smaller time frame, here just we had one signal for buy, and here we have also the confirmation for buy given by MACD. So now the pair was close to 23.6 level of Fibonacci and reverse. It's possible to have one swing between 23.38 or 41 and even to go to try to test this inferior line of the channel. So we have some question for that pattern on euro dollar. Thomas said, are you saying not to buy now but to wait to sell? Yes, I think that for the moment the pair will test this support line, this resistance line. I don't think that the pair will have the power to go into the upside. We have the signal on 4 hour for sell, but fundamentals and this pattern that was confirmed yesterday, because that candle on daily was closed here under that support line, previous support line. Now I think that is a big chance that the pair just to try to test this support, this resistance line now, and to go into the downside. I think that is a big indecision in the market, because actually everyone was prepared for the euro to go into the down direction, but without no reasons, let's say. European Commission accepted to finance the Greeks. So anyway, in the next period, I think actually the Greece don't have a government in this moment. They also will have in 1 month one referendum if they will remain in the Eurozone. And all those things bring a lot of confusion in the market. If we take only the technical signals, I think that even if we have settings from the system to be into the up direction, it will be not so strong, because I think that we can have a lot of surprise from the political side, from the political decision and so on. If you want to try to go on the signals on 4 hours, just stay with this signal for a short period, and also be aware that here the pair can be rejected on that red line. I think that now is a special situation. Jerome is asking me, what is the signal to look for entry? I will feel more comfortable if I will have the crossover RSI for a cell to go into down direction, because I will have several confirmation. I have confirmation from fundamentals. I have confirmation from this pattern, that is a very strong pattern, this triangle that we have on daily. And also if I will have also the crossover RSI and signal for cell on 4 hour time frame, I will go into one cell. George is asking me, do you expect the MACD to go above 0 before the signal? No, I will not ask, I will not, it will be okay if I have just the signal from crossover RSI. And for MACD, in this moment, I don't think that we can have a reliable signal. It was a very long period with a lot of confusion and a lot of technical indicators are not reacting very well. MACD is one of them because we have a lot of strong moves, and the signal is actually MACD is one form of average made by the movement of the pairs, and when we have strong variation of the pair, when we have one confusing market, the MACD is not one very good signal. MACD is not giving us one very good signal. On 4 hour time frame and on smaller time frame, I think that can be, we can have better evaluation of MACD. So actually, as I told you in the previous webinar, is a period when it's better to not be into one trade. Even if we take this signal from the pattern that we have here, probably it will be confirmed maybe next week, maybe at the end of the next week or something like this. So we will have a long period to have this confirmation. So you are saying wait, but when you will come back to re-examine? I think that if you consider that tomorrow is Friday, and a lot of person will close the position because we all the weekends we in the last few years we had a lot of surprises. I think that probably we can go to re-examine maybe on Monday, maybe at the beginning of the week. Lloyd is asking me, Christina, why would you not go to 1 hour for setup? It was something like range market. It was not a clear trend. We are expecting here, as you can see, we are at the end of the cycle for this period, for the euro. For this cycle, that was for this impulse that started on at the end of August 2011. Here is the evolution of the last waves. Probably is I think that is very possible to have one correction. I think that also that the waves wave 5, so we don't have a wave 5 till now, probably it will be not so big, and it will start the correction. Also, you have to consider that this analysis is on daily, so I think that in this period is the most difficult time to trade one currency, when the impulse is finishing and it starts the correction. Of course, if it is on daily, we can expect that this situation to take maybe several weeks. And if we are going into 1 hour to trade for smaller time frame, like 2 or 3 days, we don't have such a big volatility. You can see here that our volatility is about 43 pips on 1 hour time frame. So actually this is one moment when the market is not offering too many opportunity for trading. If I will go into one trade like this, given by the pattern, the candle pattern, my stop loss will be at this superior trend line of the channel, probably in this area where we have also 41.4 level of Fibonacci, a little bit above this line. So if we are, I think that is 168 pips in this moment. 100 is quite, I think that is not the best trade that we can have. And we can look for about 370, 380 pips. I will prefer just to wait a little bit to see what is, maybe 1 day or 2 days, considering that tomorrow is Friday, maybe on Monday, to see if I'm going into this trade. George said to me that CCFX just gave me a buy signal on 15 minutes time frame. On 15 minutes time frame, So here it was one signal for sell, also confirmed by MACD. In this moment, I think that the pair will go into a down direction. If you are looking for, if you are looking for signals from CCFX on 15 minutes time frame, you have to look for trades that are 40, maximum about 40 pips, but I think that's smaller, 20 or 30 pips. In this moment, I think that the pair just I don't know, it's a very small time frame, it's almost scalping. So you have to look for several pips. Probably it was the test of the middle Bollinger Band. But it is something usual to have 5 up to 10 pips reverse from the middle Bollinger Band, and after that to be tested the inferior Bollinger Band. But probably you can see that here was a ranging market. Something like this was the values. So it's not a proper period to trade. It's better to have one trend, one clear trend. Kamran, hi Christina, will you take a sell signal if oscillator of moving average is below zero at the time the RSI cross happens? Coming back to the daily, I just want to talk about this setting that is special, because the signal are a little bit confusing in this period. So we don't have signal for sell in this moment on daily, and actually we are waiting probably for a signal for buy here. Probably if it is possible to have one crossover RSI. Actually, if this signal will be also confirmed by MACD, I mean that if the red line will go out from the histogram and start to go up to the zero line, probably the pattern will not be confirmed. And probably we will see that the pair, it was just a false breakout, and and the pair will try to cross again that line, the superior line of the trend channel. I think that a lot of traders will take in consideration also this pattern, this candlestick pattern. So they, as long as the candle was closed under that base of the triangle yesterday, I think that we have a lot of possibility that they will force the pair to go into the downside. So actually, here into 4 hours, we don't have a clear signal. We had a lot of mixed signals. I don't know. It was a period very strange. I think that it's better to wait to have a clear situation of this currency. All those moves was because here it was when we had this gap here. This gap was given by the fact that in France we had the election, and the results of the election was the Socialist Party that said that they will not go with, they want to change the, all those agreements that Mr. Sarkozy made and a lot of European countries made. And everyone thought that the market will collapse. Here, when we had the confirmation on daily that the market is going into the downside, here, on this green candle that we had today was some other news related to Greece. They don't have, they had an election, and they have two parties that win the election, and they don't have a prime minister in this moment. But even with this confused political situation, the European community accept to give them $5.2 billion dollars for refinancing the economy. It was a very, very strange decision for the market. So this is why the pair just stopped the downtrend that just began here. Roderick is asking me, what was the reason you picked 16 April as your basis for drawing FIBO? So I have on the chart two FIBO. This was the first one. It was the, just a second, was the last wave, 1, 2, 3, 4th wave. So the green Fibonacci that I draw here is on the last wave. I am just looking to see how big will be the fifth wave. The fifth wave can be equal as amplitude with the fourth one. This will give me one confirmation that the pair will have the target is 100, but also can be about 88.6. So one of those levels can be 1 point of return from the fifth wave and the start for correction into the up direction. Also, I have one FIBO on the last, the red one. The red FIBO was put here when the on the last trend that we had into 4 hours. Now we have a downtrend on 4 hours, something like this. So we have two high here, one, and this is the second, and this will be the point for the inferior line. So here it was a false breakout from the channel on 4 hour time frame because it was the result on the French election. After that, the pair just go back into the channel. Here, the pair tests the inferior line of the channel, and we have a chance that the pair will try to reach this 100 Fibonacci level on this uptrend, put on this uptrend, but also to target 1.3 thousand, the psychological level. As you can see, sorry, as you can see, the pair just test this level in the history, but had not the power to go into the downside. So all the time was around this 1.3 thousand. And this level is just one psychological level. Benjamin, where did you get the point for the 1.3 thousand red support line? Just explain. Is 1/3000 is that psychological level? Mark, how many currency you will analyze this for a day? Actually, you can see that for daily trend, we just have to check the waves. When it is one point like this, probably the end of the impulse, I will check more often, but it's the same settings. So I don't need to spend too much time on the pair. If I saw this triangle take about 67, 60, 61 days, so about 2 months. 2 months, I have the same picture. It's the same analysis. I have just to check if on 4-hour time frame is going on between those levels, just to trade one wave that was made in between. So this is all the analysis that we have to do. So for the first one, we have about 450 pips, probably. The second one, from this level, psychological level, up to here, to the superior trend line channel, about 400. Maybe we can just look for, I don't know, 300, 250 pips, something like this. And the swings start to be smaller and smaller. And now we have these settings that still I am not so sure regarding it. So the pair can go into the down direction, but we have different signals from, so probably will be few days until we have one clear idea about the trend of the pair. Shaw is asking me, I noticed that you do not Elliott wave in your analysis. Does it not help you in projecting the future moves? Of course it is helping me, but I'm using it just for numbering the waves. So on daily, Elliott wave is very clear. We have the waves. So Here it was the first wave. I will just make it into one other color. So this was the wave number 1. After that we have the wave number 2. If we are measuring wave number 2, probably will be around 170, 178, something like this from the first wave. Just make a try. So when we have the reverse signal, we are waiting at least 61.8. But for Euro, usual the second wave is at 70 or 78 Fibonacci level. Sometimes it's at 88. So after the first wave, that is nobody knows how big will be or so. Just we have to look for the signals. When it starts the wave number 2, we have some idea about how big will be this wave number 2. When we have wave number 1 and the wave number 2, we can draw the channel. So here will be 1 point. This second high will be the second point for the trend line. And to draw the channel, we just have to translate that line onto the low that was made by the first wave. On this point, if we have the reversal pattern from candlestick, or we have the signal for sell like it was here, we can consider that it will start the wave number 3. The wave number 3 is bigger than wave number 2 and can be at minimum 127 Fibonacci. I will draw again the Fibonacci on the wave number 2 as the wave was formed. So this is wave number 2, and here at 127 will be my first target. All the time the third wave is the biggest. Here it was up to 141 on Fibonacci, and actually this is how I'm using the Elliott wave. So wave number 3, we have here wave number 4, and we are waiting to see if this will be just the wave number 5, or just it will go to 88.6 from this wave number 4. 88.6, 100. The wave number 5 is the smallest one, and we don't have too many cases when it reaches 100, because we have this pattern with that was one period with a lot of confusion. We have this pattern. We have a chance to be complete this pattern. We have just to see, and this is the point where is quite sensitive. All the time, the fifth wave that is weaker is a period when appear a lot of confusion, and a lot of traders are not so convinced to go into one trade in any direction. So the pair can go for 88-100, but as well cannot have the power to go to 161.8 and just start the correction. According with fundamental, I think that the new impulse will also be into the down direction. So after the correction. According with fundamentals, I think that the pair will have more lows in the future months. Okay. I have another question. How many open positions you can have in trading? You can have how many positions you want, just to take care with the money management and the equity. Actually, I prefer to work with margin about 10% from the equity, but it's quite safe to have about 30% as margin from the equity. This margin is calculating according with the leverage offered by the broker, and now for the number of lots and the quantity of the money that you have to risk, you just have to accord the money management with the equity. I think that if somebody is just going with 1,000, 2,000 into one account, and this is one amount that is covered by, I don't know, the income from a very short period, is okay to have to open more risky position. If you are going with big amounts, I think that it's better to be to feel more comfortable with smaller position and smaller risk. I think that it's better to go with 2, maximum 5% risk, and with with the margin something between 10 and 30% from the equity. And according with this, you can open as many positions you can afford. Jerome is asking me, do you think that euro dollar is going down because of dollar strength or euro weakness? I think that both currency have a lot of depreciation. Today or yesterday, the Bundesbank just agreed to accept a bigger inflation, a bigger devaluation of euro. If till now they just accept about 2% in Germany and in the rest of Europe about 2.6, now they just said into one statement that they will be comfortable with 4% devaluation of the currency. So I think that for the next period somehow will be just let's say 1 week Europe. in any case, I think that both currency are they just try to keep them as weak as they can. Paul is asking me, is the zero line on the MACD relevant as an indication when it is crossed? If we have, if we are in one trend, one clear trend, like we have on wave number 3, this wave just we have a downtrend for 68 days. You can see at the cross. The first number is the numbers of candles. The next number is the numbers of points if you have 5-digit platform. And the last number from the cross is the value of is the level of the currency. So here we had about 68 candles on daily. It means 2 months and something, 68 days. It was about 1,587.90 pips. And when we have this clear trend, downtrend, the MACD is giving us better information. When we have ranking market, MACD is not giving us good information. As you can see in this period when the swings was smaller, the MACD histogram is also smaller. So not all the time MACD is giving us a very strong information. So when the MACD, the red line is is crossing the zero line, of course is one signal if it's coming from above and go under the zero, is one signal for sell. A lot of traders are considering and open one new position, one new short position. But this one, when the histogram is going to make smaller bar and the red line is going out from the histogram, here we have the signal for sell. Here a lot of traders are opening a new position, maybe smaller. I saw that MACD is used for a lot of systems that are used for scalping or on smaller time frames, but up to history of the pairs, the signal from MACD is coming actually at the half of the move. So when we have this signal from MACD, my pair already made about half of the move into the downside or into the upside. John is asking me, Christina, when I see an Elliott wave pattern, I usually notice it when the third wave is completed and jump in on the fourth wave or fifth wave. But I would like to catch the third Elliott wave. What do you do to recognize that a third Elliott wave is forming instead realizing after it completed? So here I have wave number 1. I will just name it wave number 1. Here I have wave number 2. So I am expecting that after the impulse, wave number 1, after a pair start the impulse, the wave number 2 to be about a little bigger than 61.8. Here it was about 78.6, but also it can go up to 88.6. Never it will cross 100 or will test 100. So here out at those levels, 61, 70, 78, 88 levels of Fibonacci, I will expect that the pair will start a new wave. So I will look for a new signal. Here it was one first signal. Just let's check what was the level. So you can see here that was a little bit above 50 level. Didn't touch 61.8. So this signal was not valid. Here, when I had the signal from RSI, I didn't have the confirmation from MACD. When the MACD was crossing the 0 level, just a pair here. Test 61.8 and later just test the new levels. If we are going just to mark this one, I want to show to you how it's happening on smaller time frame. So on 4 hour, I had before the signal. So that was the 4 signals on daily here. This one was the signal from on daily. On 4 hour time frames, just I have one swing between 70-78 level. The pair didn't have the force to go over 78. And after that, just start the down move. It was a signal for sell on 4 hour time frames. And when also came the confirmation from MACD, the pair starts to go into the downside. But it was here one period of indecision. If we are looking, we had about 8 candles. It means 32, it means 1 day and a half, something like this. And after that, just go into the downside and the pair form a new channel. So here it was usually not the first, the second high. So it was something like this. So the pair just form a new channel and go into the downside. When the pair reached the previous law of the second wave, the pair was rejected from the channel and the market had just translated the channel a little bit into the upside, but and change a little bit the angle of the downtrend. But still we have the continuation of the wave number 3, that one. And the targets for, actually this was the point when we all the time have one reverse, but we have the continuation according with the Fibonacci. Marcus, when you realize the wave number 1 start, we never know when the wave number 1 is starting. My note is just going away. So we never know when the wave number 1 is starting. Maybe if we are going into first wave, all the time is very confused. The cycles from the Elliott wave theory just tell us that we have for one impulse about 5 waves. The impulse can be into the downside or into the upside, into a downtrend or into one uptrend. And this impulse that is formed from usual from 5 waves will be followed by one correction formed by 3 waves. The most difficult thing to determine is the wave number 1. The wave number 1 can be into the opposite trend or can be in the same trend. Just so here we can have the correction. The correction will be something like ABC in the upside. And after that, we can have one translation of the channel and the pair go into the downside, or it's possible to see that the trend of the pair is reversed. But on daily time frame, it's quite difficult to say in this moment what will be the situation. As long as each wave was for 1 month or more, I think that also the correction will be something minimum 3 weeks or so for each wave. And after that we can see if the fundamentals will show one correction or if the fundamentals will give us one reverse of the trend. Paul is asking me, do you think there is a quicker indicator than the MACD to complement the RSI crossover? I'm using MACD because it was one of the first indicators that I was followed as trader. But I think that you can improve. MACD is like oscillator of moving average. Have same construction. Sorry. So as I said, MACD and oscillator of moving average have some same construction are indicators that are formed from one combination of moving of simple moving averages, and I think that one is too faster and one is too slower. Oscillator of moving average is giving us the signal much earlier, and the MACD is giving us the signal little bit later. If we have just we cannot rely just on signal of oscillator of moving average. It's giving us one indication that the trend will change, but as you can see here, the histogram start to make bars smaller and smaller, but it was one moment when the bars start to become bigger. Here from MACD, we had when the histogram of oscillator just start to give us the signal that in the near future the pair will have a downtrend. The MACD just tell us that contrary, we can go into one buy. So I think that something in the middle you can have the signal. Otherwise, you can use any indicator that is giving you one trend indication. Actually, I don't know. I saw a lot of traders that are using ADX, or they are every trader have a style, you know. Also, the trend is given by SAR. Those dots are indicating very clear when the trend is changing. So anyway, for signals, you can split the indicators in two types. The indicators that is giving you the signal for entry and exit, like the crossover RSI, like stochastic, or maybe, I don't know, ADX, something like this. And you can split the indicators that is giving you or is confirming the trend. But also you can use the channels for trends. You can use the PSAR for trends. MACD is okay. Howard, can you set this up with stochastic rather than MACD? Can we test this? Howard, you have one report that we made. I think that also is posted in members area. You can have you have there the accuracy of the signals that are coming from stochastic. I can plot it on my chart, but I think that we will confuse a lot of persons. So maybe you can combine that report and just you can make some tests to see. Larry is asking me, Christina, do you use divergence, regular or hidden, in your analysis of the chart or the currency pairs? Okay, Howard, it's a nice report and we work a lot on that one. Larry, I'm not using divergence. But I think that I will not be surprised if we have in this period also divergence to confirm the fact that the euro will go into the down direction. But I'm not using divergence. Okay. What about to talk? Welcome, Larry. What about to talk a little about the other pairs? So here for the euro, I think that you have one idea what it will happen. So if the pair will have the power, probably will test first 161 level, after that 80.6, but here I think that will be the stop. I don't think that the pair will have in this moment the power to go into 126, but anyway, politician can always bring us some surprises. If the pair will cross again this psychological level at 1.3 thousand, I think that is better to wait, not to go into one trade. Probably the pair will make some more swings into that triangle. In a triangle we have usual 5 or 7 swings. It happens to have more. And in this area will be very small swings if the pair will go. Again, between those old resistance and will transform 1,300 into support. So maybe if you are just beginners, it's better to wait a little bit to have a clear trend for this pair. For the pound, so for the pound, the pair test 50 levels. It is a chance just to have one small reverse because it's the middle line of Bollinger Band and go into the down direction. Here we don't have a clear signal for buy, and here is the signal for sell. So I think that the pair will retest again 50 level or 61 level and probably will test this inferior line of the channel. So I think that this will be for this week. Review the Aussie dollar pair. Yes. We talk also about yen, dollar yen. So it was that I think that now we can just consider that this channel was modified. I have a lot of line here. On daily, we can consider that we have one signal for a buy. Here. but just because it's the weekend, maybe it's okay if we are waiting a little bit for to see what it will be at the beginning of the week. So we have a little modification of the channel. So we have this signal on daily. Let's see what is on for our time frame. We had several signals for buy already. This one was something like a confirmation from MACD. Was not a long period because also the yen is considered by all the traders one safe currency because Japan have a strong economy, and their currency is sustained um, by the exports and a good balance. So here we have a new signal for buy. As long as is immediately after the signal that we had on daily, we can consider that probably this will be a strong signal, and probably the pair will test again at least 41.4. I think that first thing will be to test this superior line of the channel. Probably this will be till the end of the week, and probably next week we're going to the up direction. Okay, also just let's see on OC what is the situation. So they just translate the channel. It was one reverse up to, I will delete this Fibonacci. So on this channel, the pair just test 41.4 level here, and now it starts to go into the down direction. I think that probably the pair will test parity level. Daily. I think that this is not significant Fibonacci, but just let's draw it. The pair was at 61.8. Probably the pair till Friday will test again 100 level here and go into the downside. Let's see on for our time frame. Here it was one signal for buy. Also it was confirmed by the signal from MACD. So here when the pair just reversed from the middle Bollinger Band, I think that it is just for short period. I think that the pair will test again this 100 level. As you can see here, we have the superior Bollinger Band, and after that go into a down direction, maybe next week. So maybe we can consider on daily this one like one first wave. So this one here where it was that ranging market, I think that they was just confused according with the situation in Europe. And because they European countries need to make rollovers, they just made the cash money they need for liquidity from some investment that they made in Asia or in this part of the world, in Australia and so on. Also, the Australian National Bank just reduced the interest for the bonds. So a lot of investors consider that it's not so appealing, this currency, and just reduce their exposure. So for the moment, we are expecting that this pair to test the parity level, probably in a short time, and just start to make the second wave. In that point, we will have one clear idea about the channel that we can draw for this pair. So probably we will have something like this. Anyway, I couldn't find exactly the point for the parity, and I think that the pair will reverse from this point maybe to 61 or 70 level, and just it will form one channel. Probably will be something like this, but we will see what we will have in the next period. Yeah, Howard, I think that this will be the scenario. I think that the pair will hit the upper Bollinger Band, will make one new try at the parity, and after that will reverse to form the channel for the downtrend. And we will have wave number 1, wave number 2, and as long as most of economists said that the economy start to recover, and probably in 2014 everything will be like before, everyone happy, all the business running and so on. I think that the currencies will go to the previous value, will try to touch the previous values. Paul, you asked me if I will trade Aussie dollar on 4 hour. In this moment, I think that the pair will test at least 23.6 level. It means about 90 pips and stop loss maybe 70. It was the signal earlier. Maybe this one was the second point here when we had a chance to go into one buy. So it was one chance here when we had the signal, and the second one on this green candle. I think that we have to see what is happening here. If it's just certain level of Fibonacci, the pair we have to put the stop loss probably here or under the inferior Bollinger Band. So I think that it's better to see what is happening with the signal or to trade in a smaller time frame. On 1 hour time frame, we just have a signal for sell. So I think that today and tomorrow will be a little bit in the down direction, maybe here, and after that to try to reach 23.6. You see here we have signal for sell, this one 13. We have a lot of chance to have one down move of the Aussie dollar, maybe on this level, something like this. It's will be the weekend. I think that we have to wait or to go on on smaller time frames to see what to look for some trades. Maybe here we can have, it was one trade 40 pips. We can look maybe for 60, something like this. Okay, you have any question? Euro GPI. Christian is asking me. So I am not trading too much. I'm trading majors, but for Euro GPI, it was a downtrend. Now it's one uptrend. Probably it was the period when it was the intervention of the Bank of Japan. And on daily, it was that downtrend. We can consider that it was something like Elliott wave. We can apply something like this, Elliott wave. And now just start the correction. So something like this was the channel. Here it was a little bit of panic. And here we have the correction. I will just draw the correction with one other color to know that is something different. Okay, and now just let's measure the correction. So '61, the pair just reached 61.8 from the last wave. So I think that probably this will be the wave. And it is a big possibility to have here something like this. This is on daily. Okay, let's go for, here we have something like one signal for a buy. Maybe it's better to wait for one more candle, and we will have the confirmation of the wave C of the correction when probably the red line will go out from the histogram of MACD. And now let's see. And now just let's see. I want to draw the channel lines. I think that we have to pay attention of this signal that is not formed yet. And also the pair didn't reach the inferior line of the channel. So it's possible to have one move in into the down direction up to 70.7 and after that to go into the upside. But we just have to pay attention to this signal. If we are going on 4-hour time frame, we can see that we already have the signal on 4 hours. So, whoops, I lost. We have the signal on 4 hours from crossover SI here, and here something like one confirmation from MACD. You can see it. So I think that for the moment the pair will try to reach 41.4 level, maybe in this point, and we'll test this superior trend line of the channel. Is we can have one swing between 50 and 41, and after that to start the move into the upside. Howard is asking me just a suggestion. I arrange my currency pairs in alphabetical order so I can find them easier. Do you have a system you use to group them together? Howard, I will tell you one secret. I am technical idiot. So I am learning uh, the programs and I am using them in the basic way. I have so many things to learn about, a lot of things, so I don't have a system to arrange. How they put me into the platform, this is how I'm taking them. I was just changing the parameters of some indicators that I use, and I made some backtests because I was not, I was not so comfortable, and I was not so comfortable with the basic indicators from the position of one mathematician. I think that just combination of averages and is not something very complicated or so, and something like this. I had just problem with the settings of indicators, not with other settings of the platform. Mark is asking me how much % of gross you plan to get in a week and month of your investment. Usual, is depending. Usual, I'm looking for 60–70% of the investment, but it depends on the equity that you have into one account. If you are working with a bigger amount, you will feel more comfortable with one one safe money management. So if you will have very safe position with small risk, you will not have I don't know huge profits. You cannot multiply your equity into 1 month. If you are working with amounts, I don't know, that you can afford to lose in, it's okay if you take more risk into one trade. So sometimes I can afford, I can afford to take too big risk into trades. So if I have something over 50, it is okay. It is okay. Christina is asking me, are you using together with Fibonacci levels the Fibonacci extension? By backtesting the Fibonacci extension, is realized that some currency pair react better to extension than the others. How could this be explained? In I'm using Fibonacci expansion when I have ranking market on daily or when on weekly, when I don't have any information about one level of one currency. I remember that I was using expansion on OSI. I will just show to you. We have the monthly chart. Actually, in this period, when the pair went over the parity level, we don't have anything like this in the history of the pair. So it was a good idea to use expansion to find what level will be here, what will be the stop, or some what will be the what can be the projection of the pair. Also, it was the same thing on gold when it reached 1009, I think. I'm not using all the time the expansion, just when we don't have anything in history about those levels, about those highs or about those lows. I was checking also on GPI, on dollar yen. I was used, but in the opposite direction when the yen made the lows, was something that was not in the history of the pair. But actually, I'm not. Is not something that is usual. David asked me if I thought of starting a signal service. Actually, I think that OTP is thinking to is preparing, or they are thinking to do something like this. I didn't think to start something like this by myself. I don't know. I prefer that the person, every person, to take decision and to know what is on the base, what I think that everyone have to take decision and to know the reason why he decided to do something. So I will do my best to explain the system, but for the signal, really, I don't know. I don't have anything in plan related with signal service or so. Mark is asking me if do you developing the current trading system? First, I think that I want to give you some more freedom. I will prepare some videos how you can check into one smartphone the currency. I think that there are a lot of persons that are not using the smartphone, but I think that is a good thing to use, if not to be all the time in front of the computer. So my intention for the future is to give you some more freedom. Um, Christian, he is asking me if can we have some session of live trading. I will think if we can do something like this on 5 minutes time frame, but because the webinars are just for a few hours, I think that we don't have enough time for being to one live session. I will check if we can have one longer webinar or something like this. Okay, and also I just saw that we have to close our webinar. So thank you that you was here with me, and I hope that this will help you to have some good trades in the next period. Okay, you are welcome. See you in the next webinar.
The organizer has ended the session, and this call